Hey guys, how we doing? So for once I'm going to be doing a video and it's not going to be in a moving car because I've realised that it's just not worth the accident potential. I was wanting to do this outside today, but it's decided to absolutely piss down, so once again find myself in the car. I'm going to have to wait till my bloods come up a wee bit for legal reasons. I'm sitting at 3.3 and I've got a wee bit of Lucozade here. I feel absolutely fine because that's the way things work with me, being on a low carbohydrate diet. But if someone hits me and I get pulled over, insurance is out the window. So one thing to remember, always try and get your bloods five to drive is what they say. So yeah, anyway, welcome to video number 3, and this is running or treating your diabetes as a business. Okay, so having that business mindset in a way to manage your diabetes control. So 2 things you're going to take away from today, and I'll get into them in a wee minute. But basically, in having a business mindset with your diabetes, right, like I'm self-employed as a personal trainer, so I need to know obviously all the things to do with like being a PT, but the business side of things, you have to know your business like inside out, and you have to know your diabetes inside out. So that involves your numbers, what kind of things you can predict, patterns that develop, things like that. So one thing I do, right, and I'm the only person I think I know that does this, or to this extent anyway, is I have the Libra sensor. It's covered up, it's on my left arm right now. But I set an alarm to go off every single hour on the hour, from whenever like I wake up. So right now, because the gyms are open in Scotland again, early starts for me, good times. I'm up at like either 5 or sometimes earlier, sometimes 6 in the morning, and my alarm will go off every hour so I can scan that. Now before the Libra came out, I was doing exactly the same thing but with a finger prick. I started off with every 2 hours because, let's be honest, pricking your fingers every day that often isn't that fun. But the one thing that you can guarantee is you are going to have a much better understanding of how your blood sugars are flowing. If you only take a blood reading or scan your Libra, a few times a day, like in the morning, maybe before a meal, you don't have a clue, unless you're the type of diabetic that your blood sugar levels don't really fluctuate that much. Then yeah, you could probably get away with it. But if I didn't do it the way I do it, I wouldn't know what's going on. And the best thing about it is that you can catch your diabetes blood sugar control sooner if it's going up or if it's dropping. So before you get into, say, the double figures, if you're mostly 99% of the time in single figures like me, if it is for whatever reason starting to go higher, you can take insulin before it gets into those double figures, hopefully. Or if you're dropping off low and you think, oh, I better get some Lucozade, and you're like I am beforehand. So yeah, that's in terms of monitoring. That is one of the biggest bits of advice I could give you, is set an alarm for every hour, preferably on the hour because it's just easier to do, and you will start to get a better understanding of your diabetes and how patterns develop in that. Second thing is logging. Okay, now I use an app called Diabetes M. Now I know we're in like the 21st century and probably a lot of you use apps as well. Diabetes M, you can get it on the App Store, whether you're like iOS or Android, and even the free version has so many features that I don't even use all of them, and it's brilliant for what you can do. Now obviously if you have the Libra and you use that, like that works, but I tend to use the Libra just for scanning and checking my A1C, because that's really accurate, because it's obviously not just taking into account when you scan, but it's taking into account like the 8-hour period that it stores the data as well. So the app that I use, Diabetes M, my A1C is slightly higher than what the Libra says, because it's only taking into account every time I input the data manually myself. So yeah, get yourself an app, or if you like being old school and using pen and paper, fair play to you. But logging down all the information you possibly can, taking notes, you know, what time of the day, what your bloods were, if you had insulin on board, if you're having a meal, if the event is a meal, how much protein, carbs and fats you have. It's very important that you, if you get your head around it in this way, that you don't just carb count. I'm going to do a big video on that soon. But carb counting is good, but it's pointless unless you're taking into consideration the amount of proteins and fats that you have as well. I'm not going to go into too much depth on that today, but I will do a video on that soon. So yeah, and any other event as well, like if it's exercise related, it could be anything. The more information that you can put down and use, the better understanding you're going to have of your diabetes control. All right, I cannot stress that enough. And it's all about making little adjustments, tweaking it here and there, thinking, right, I'm going to do this with this ratio. So whether it's your bolus or whether it's your background insulin, and you try that for a couple days, few days maybe. You could try it for a week, because one thing I've noticed is if I change my basal, it takes about 2 days, 3 days roughly for that to actually have an effect. Now obviously if you change your basal and you're low, waking up low every morning, and you think, right, I'll just cut back a little bit, but you're still waking up low the next day, then yeah, you would obviously change it a lot sooner than a few days to a week. But yeah, log absolutely everything, monitor it as much as you possibly can, so you have an understanding inside and outside your diabetes like a business. Okay, that is one of the biggest things that has had the greatest impact on my diabetes control. Now the majority of us probably just see this as a disease where it's like, oh, I just have to put up with it, and you don't really know 100% what's going on. And the more you treat it as something that you have to be on board with, monitoring 100% 24/7 the time, then it's just going to work out a lot better for you in the long run. You're going to have much better blood sugar control. It won't happen overnight. It will definitely get better, I can guarantee it, but it's what you put in, you will definitely get out. And you'll learn a lot about yourself, and you'll learn a lot about your diabetes, and as always, you can always reach out and get help from someone like me. Okay, see you in the next one.